to the OpenTelemetry Hero's Journey. I'm Josh Lee. I'm a developer advocate at Instana.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Edwin Onnatu, and I'm a product manager at Instana.
I'm Henning Treu, also product manager to Instana.
OpenTelemetry is an open source project under the Cloud Native Computing Foundation that offers a unified framework for generating, collecting, and transmitting telemetry data.
When new technologies make bold promises, how do you discern the hype from what's commercially viable? You can use a hype cycle model like this one from Gartner to situate the promise of an emerging technology within the context of the industry and, of course, your appetite for risk. As of August 2022, Gartner analysts have placed OpenTelemetry in the middle of the first of 5 hype cycle phases, known as the innovation trigger. Innovation trigger phase describes when a potential technology breakthrough kicks things off, and early proof of concept stories and media interest trigger significant publicity for the technology. First, OpenTelemetry is one of the top open source projects by contribution hosted by the CNCF, the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. It was accepted in 2019 when OpenTracing and OpenCensus projects merged. It's second only to Kubernetes according to the latest CNCF dev starts in contributions. What OpenTelemetry ultimately provides is a single set of APIs, SDKs, and tooling for the collection of telemetry data from cloud-native software, telemetry such as metrics, traces, logs. By providing open source and consistent formats and protocols for telemetry data, it allows for end users, open source contributors, and vendors to build extensions, wrappers, and distributions that conveniently package functionality to ease adoption and ensure best practices are being followed.
In order to ensure that when you do in fact have a problem in production, you don't have any gaps. There is no 80-20 in tracing. You kind of need to trace through everything in the chain, or you end up having broken links, missing information that directly impacts your mean time to resolving issues. The reality is that common telemetry instrumentation that tries to deliver generalized coverage often tends to miss the specificity of scope needed to solve real problems in practical scenarios. And this is the kind of insight that will only occur to practitioners when they have a crisis at hand in production that needs to be resolved. You need to do some custom manual instrumentation because their only other option to ensure coverage is to wait for someone else to do it. So how do they do it? What does that look like? You get some engineers to become subject matter experts in the technology, framework, or applications that need coverage. But the pain for practitioners trying to make sense of all this is very real. As much as open source telemetry means freedom and flexibility, it just as much means that the responsibility to build out observability is shifted to the shoulders of each and every practitioner. What truly matters in the end is whether you're able to diagnose problems quickly. Telemetry information without its context is pretty much as useless as no information at all, especially if you consider that the number of data points we're collecting these days is going to be immeasurable. The automatic correlation of events and data to its context is the only possible way forward. And this is where we see the biggest challenge in OpenTelemetry today. Just like modern airplanes, an observability platform needs to take every bit of data into account and present only the necessary pieces of information in context so that you can get to the signals and the insights right away. Without automation, you run the risk of creating serious information gaps and make it hard to get comprehensive and timely observability coverage. The correlation of telemetry data to its context is really important, and context is what helps us weed through all the noise when looking at an issue or incident. Do consider Instana when you need a helping hand in your observability journey. We provide a soup to nuts observability platform that builds on hyper automation as much as possible for frictionless no-code observability, with coverage for the major platforms across the key telemetry signals and hundreds of frameworks and technologies out of the box. We deliver one cohesive solution that dynamically provides context to empower all of your observability needs.